joined with my old pal, John Mark Staude from Riverside Resources. John Mark, good to see you again.
It's great to be with you. This is awesome.
So gold, I'm not going to give a whole preamble here. It's doing quite well. What's your take on it?
I just can't believe how much chaos and how many things are happening in the world that are making gold go up higher. And I really think that I'm not usually kind of this crazy thing. When we did lithium, I was the lithium bear. Yeah. I said it was a bubble and things like that and on other things, but there's a lot of momentum on the gold side for things that are causing gold to go up and not a lot of things that are causing it to go down other than governmental trying to keep gold down, I think.
When I remember chatting with you back in 2021 when gold got up near $2,000 and you said that you thought it felt toppy. Do you feel that way at all right now?
So I think it's beginning to get warm.
Okay.
So it's beginning to get warm. It's not and the thing is it's definitely at that time there was some I think Merrill Lynch or someone came out with these high price targets like it was going to be 5,000 or 3,000, and it seemed like there was a lot of bullishness happening. I think we didn't have Trump in power. We didn't have what was happening in the Ukraine necessarily in the same way. We didn't have things that were happening a lot of complexity. And also we didn't have, I think, so much of a de-dollarization push that is happening now. So it doesn't feel yet as toppy, but it definitely feels warm. I mean, there's interest, things are happening, it's bubbling along. It seems high.
Do you think though, because you've been in this business for a long time and you've seen the volatility, that you're almost like a street cat who's been beaten a bunch of times and is now just a little cagey about the price of gold going up?
Cagey or skittish, I think maybe fearful, and actually a bit traumatized by life. And it's interesting. And so, yeah, I think, and I try to hold that back and try to be just, objective. And when I see what's happening kind of with these complexities in the world, that usually gold to go up. So, but I think gold hitting 4,000, gold is going to go to 4,000 and then it's going to hit some type of numeric boundary. There'll be something there, something around round numbers that causes some type of thing to happen, but it'll have to build a base or something like that. But there's a big turnout, a lot of people here at this conference, and a lot of people are talking about it. And so it's definitely becoming much more of a general sector now, gold. And silver also, yeah.
I was reading the Northern Miner last night. They hand them out for free at Beaver Creek, and I'm going through the top 20 drill holes in gold over the last year. They had a list, and at the top you've got some TSX listed big caps. You have a couple of Canadian juniors, and then the rest of them are basically filled out by Australian listed companies. You think we have a problem here in the Canadian junior markets?
So I think that the Canadian junior markets do have somewhat of a problem. I mean, it's hard to get capital and things like that. But right now capital is flowing. I think when you look at those numbers, and I thought about it because you and I talked about this. You mentioned it yesterday. So last night I was thinking about it. And one thing is, are those new drill holes in new areas, or are they drill holes in existing locations? And are they, because often when you're drilling around a location, you keep drilling out and you get more and more holes, but they're not fresh projects. And so I think the Australia projects maybe aren't new projects. Maybe it's continuing and drilling in the same locations in different area, or ASX companies. ASX companies love to drill. I think the Canadian companies love to do all these studies. They want to have everything around PEAs and all these different studies. A lot of money goes that way. So I think the Canadian markets are providing capital, but overall, I think it's hard to find people to buy the shares.
Yeah.
The part is that people can sell the shares to the corporations, yeah.
That's a consistent theme I hear from chatting with people who've been in this business for decades, is that it used to be 20 years ago, if you had a gold project and you wanted to go raise money, there were all of these long only funds you could go to that were real investors that were going to hold on to your stock, support the company. Whereas now those large institutional funds are largely hedge funds, which is driven by retail liquidity. And as a friend of mine says, that when they pay you on these deals, they're actually paying you to leave so that they can leave. They're not paying you so that they can stay and invest. And I think we're all kind of hopeful that as gold continues to just show this momentum, whether it sits here or goes to 10,000, who knows? It's fun to pretend we have a crystal ball, but nobody knows. I think that the hope is that we're going to start to see that reemerge, where you're going to have more, say, Crescat capitals running around these events.
I definitely think we will, and I think that's we hope, but I think we will, and people will start to come. I think people are really getting tired with crypto. I think that people are seeing things kind of roll over. I think people are really coming on, and they will come in and with investment groups. Also, I'm having investors right now that are saying, "Look, I'd like to do an investment, and we'd like to get other people in." So they're actually auto-creating themselves, self-creating new investment groups. Private families and private groups investing, and those would be long-only focused corporations instead of hedge funds, yes.
So let's turn the discussion to Riverside. Last time we sat down, you were preparing for an inaugural drill program at La Union. Is that program now underway?
It is. In fact, right now, this moment, I'm working on the drilling. It's going on right now. I'm really excited by that. We're progressing, and it's been really good to be able to go out in the field and work this summer. And now it's great the summer's kind of ending because it was hot out there. It was really hot to be working.
My understanding is that you were spinning that out in with another TSX listed company, or TSX.
So it's actually with a CSE listed company. QQQ is the symbol,
Okay.
Quest Corp,
Yep.
and it's an option deal.
Okay.
So they need to spend 5 million Canadian in the work,
Okay.
and then they're going to actually, on top of that, they pay us shares in the company and some cash. So the shares in the company, we're already 9.9% owners now. They paid us in shares, but we're doing the work and operating the project, and we get a fee for that. So it's an option earn-in. If they don't complete that earn-in, the project stays with us. If they do complete the option earn-in, then we get additional payment up to 19.9% of that company. So we'll be share owners of that company. We'll see what we do with those shares when we get them. If we then give those to shareholders, that would be kind of a spin out or a dividend. But yeah, it's a really good deal for Riverside shareholders.
What does that program look like? How many meters are you guys drilling?
The program looks like 1,500 meters. It's an initial inaugural program. It looks like 6 or 7 core holes. Those core holes drilling into the type of geology similar to a lot of the big deposits in Mexico. It's called a carbonate replacement system, a CRD. And what it is big, nice mineralization, big areas, they call them mantos, these flat zones, chimneys where it comes up. So it's really fun. So we're trying to drill into those, kind of trying to hit those a hole into different areas. So this is prospect drilling, early stage.
Now I want to ask you about Blue Jay, which is a company you guys are spinning out, in which I gotta ask you this. I remember 2 years ago, I interviewed a man named Simon Ridgway at Rick Rule's event, and somebody who you told us that we should chat with. He had a company called Rackla Metals, which is just absolutely the stock maybe a bit ahead of itself. Maybe it's not. What do I know? I think it's up like over 500% and over the last year and a half, and they haven't even put out a single drill result yet. But clearly the Yukon is pretty much every company we're talking to here that is from the Yukon is doing quite hot. My understanding is that Blue Jay is now exploring in the Yukon. Is that right?
So yes. Riverside was looking at a very interesting project, Tagish Lake in the Yukon, before the Yukon crater, which was the environmental problem, or now the revival of it going up. So I'd say we're not chasing what's hot. We specifically were looking at this project, but that's exactly right. This is now a great time to be in the Yukon, and Blue Jay has the right, is buying Whitehorse Gold, and that'll be a subsidiary of the larger public company, which is on the TSV Venture Exchange. It's now it's public, but not trading. It'll be listed early next year. And the Yukon asset is pretty interesting. It's called the Skookum Project. It's good. Nice grade gold.
And you still have those properties that are surrounding the Greenstone project.
Totally. And so that was the heart of Blue Jay. Very good. And so those projects in Ontario are high grade gold near Canada's 4th largest open pit gold mine. Ross Beatty has built this huge mine at Greenstone Gold, and Blue Jay has the properties around the mine, 3 different projects. So yeah, it's a really nice portfolio for the company Blue Jay.
Okay, let's wrap it up with this. If I'm an investor in Riverside, which I am, what should I be watching out for over the next year?
So 4 things it's going to look next year. Drill results that we're talking about on the Union project in drilling and exploration of Mexico. Secondly, in Canada and British Columbia, we've diversified and added, so gold there. Third is royalties. really, really good. We have royalties on multiple different transactions. And the last is being a shareholder in the past, you got these spinouts. We're working on more of those. So that'll be really fun. Each year we've come to Beaver Creek, we've tried to create something. We've come back next year to Beaver Creek, we've had it done. This year we have done Blue Jay, so I'm really excited about the next 12 months.
All right, well, John Mark, it's always a pleasure catching up, and let's do this again this time next year.
Thanks, Steve. Really fun.